Hello everybody, I am Tiffany and today I am bringing you a different type of review than what I usually do on this channel. What? I know, your mind is kind of blown right now. Yes, that is right. I am trying to start to do TV show reviews because I do watch a lot of TV and I realize I haven't really reviewed it, and that's quite sad. And it'll get me on top of actually finishing shows more because that is one thing I am personally pretty bad at. I start a show, but I never really completely finish it, which is really sad. In addition, with any book or movie suggestions, TV shows are always welcome. I had a couple actually for anime TV series, which I am actually going to review too, so don't you worry, those are coming your way. Just to talk to you a little bit of how I want to do this format, I'm not going to go episode by episode because that is way too time consuming. I mainly want to go season by season. So once the season has completely wrapped, then I probably do a review on it. This one's a little bit of a mixture of both. It's mainly just talking about one of my favorite shows, more specifically season 2 of this show. But it is an overall review of the first 2 seasons in general, so they may not be as frequent as the book or movie reviews, but I will be watching TV and trying to get those reviews out as fast as possible. So the first show I have decided to review today, I kind of dressed appropriately. I found this red dress, which was really pretty, but the show I am reviewing is on Hulu, and it is called The Handmaid's Tale. I have not read the book before you ask, which is really sad, I know. But yes, I did see the show before I've read the book, which I know for some is a crime, but it's just been getting such rave reviews and I really wanted to watch it. If you have not seen Handmaid's Tale, oh my gosh, it is absolutely incredible. Go and watch it. It's awesome. It is depressing though, so if you don't like depressing stuff or you just don't want to be in that mood, then hold off on it until you're ready for that. Each episode is about an hour long, so there aren't a ton of episodes in each season. The first season I believe has 10 and the second season I believe has 13 in total. For those of you who want statistics, this does have an 8.6 out of 10 overall on IMDb, which should tell you right then and there that this show is pretty amazing. For those of you who want the actors, it stars Elizabeth Moss, who was originally in Mad Men, and she got nominated a bunch for that too, so she's just kick butt. This also stars Yvonne Strahovski. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. She was in Dexter and then also Chuck. If you watch Chuck, she was a main character in that show as well. It also stars Joseph Fiennes, who's done a whole bunch of stuff. Samira Wiley, who is in Orange is the New Black. Alexis Bledel, who is the girl from Gilmore Girls. It has an absolutely amazing cast. Everybody rocks it. It's just so good. Like I said, it is based off a book written by Margaret Atwood, which maybe you've probably read it. A lot of schools require you to read it. My schools just did not, which is weird. For those of you who want a synopsis, it follows this main character, June. She lives in Gilead, which is the futuristic version of America, and there's a crisis going on in all of the world where fertility has gone down, so there's not enough babies being made. And June ends up being kidnapped and has to become a handmaid. And handmaids go around to different couples' houses and they are forced to have sex with people in order to try and make babies to further the population. I know, it's very dark and twisted. As for how it's going to work with spoilery sections, I'm about to go into the spoilery section, especially for this one since it's been a little while. I mainly just want to talk about the most shocking moments for me, not necessarily going to go into as much detail. But it is going to be the end of the non-spoilery section, so those of you who haven't watched the show, go and watch the show. Then you can come back and we can discuss all the super crazy stuff that happens in it together, alright? Go watch Handmaid's Tale. Now. Just go. Put on Hulu. Go. Twirl time. You can't see the twirl, but my dress twirls. It's nice. June is such an awesome and amazing character. I loved the twist in season 1 where you kind of figure out exactly what June did wrong because she is part of this group, the Handmaids, who all seem to be people who have done stuff that is considered bad. But you don't really get what June did. So for a good long while, you just think that all of these poor girls are being tortured. But then you find out June's big secret, which is her husband wasn't originally her husband. He was someone else's husband, and she was technically an adulterer. And when you first see that, it is really shocking. At least for me it was, because you love June, and you think she's powerful, and she's going through a heck of a lot. And then usually when characters do something like that, they're not the characters you completely root for. They're the ones that ruined something for you. June just goes through so much and is awesome that at the end of the day, you forgive her for that. But it's still something that you're like, whoa, when that first happened. And I was like, what are you doing? He's married. I was a little bit pissed at her. Mr. Waterford. I went through so many ups and downs with him in the first season. And the second season, I just completely despised him. But in the first season, at the beginning, you're not really sure what to think of him. But for a split second, because I'm naive, I thought maybe he was a good general in a way. Maybe him and June were gonna kind of team up. And boy, was I wrong. He is the worst character on that show. I don't like him. He's, At the end of season 2, where she slaps him, oh my gosh, that made me so happy. I was like, you go, June, you go. He does awful things. He hurt his wife. He beat her. He caused her finger to be cut off instead of defending his wife. I'm like, dude, your wife is the one who brought you to power. You did nothing originally, so you should be praising her. I don't care how this society works. You should be saying, praise be to Mrs. Waterford, because she's the one who put you in that position. Without her, you'd be squat. And then he tries to form a relationship with June, and it's weird and creepy, and he needs to go. He needs to go away. He needs to get his payback. More than just a slap. He deserves more than just a slap, but man, did I love that slap. That was beautiful. Now, Mrs. Waterford, this may sound weird, but she is actually my favorite character development-wise in the show. Because the actress, oh my gosh, this girl is amazing. There is so much range she has to play. One second you're hating Mrs. Waterford, then another second she's redeeming herself and you're starting to care for Mrs. Waterford, then the next second you hate her and then you kind of like her, then you hate her, then you like her, then you hate her, then you like her, and you're like, what is going on? Season 2 was so amazing and she totally deserved to get nominated for that because her performance overall was just absolutely incredible. Season 2 was crazy for Mrs. Waterford. I don't even know what to think because now she's finally turning good, and the fact that she gave up the baby at the end in order for the baby to be okay, that was really touching. You felt bad for Serena. After her torturing June in the first season and you hating her, you feel for Serena. And you get a little bit more of her backstory and why she can't have babies herself because she got shot. And she did need to be taken down a peg, but the fact that she got hit that hard, loses a finger, it's just crazy. And I'm very, very excited to see what happens in the next season. I really want June and Serena to team up for good. They kind of did in this season. I really want them to be a force to be reckoned with. One dynamic I'm interested to see play out is between Luke and Nick. Because Luke and Nick are the two lovers of June. And I am very, very interested to see what the heck happens. Luke and Nick have met. They've met very briefly. But Luke had no idea that, well, Nick slept with your girl, I must say. June got with Nick because she was pretty sure Luke was dead. And I don't blame her. He seemed pretty dead. Then she finds out he's alive, actually. Sends him a message to save Hannah. But then she's still with Nick because she's stuck in Gilead. And I'm wondering what happens when she gets out. She's still in Gilead, so I'm pretty sure her and Nick are still gonna be together. But I want to know what happens when she does come across Luke again. How all of that is going to be handled. Will Nick let her go and be happy with Luke, her original love, or will June decide maybe to go with Nick? I don't know. That is a dynamic I'm so curious with. Nick was an interesting character again. I didn't know really how to feel about him in the first season. I was, I think, paranoid the whole time that he was going to betray her. So I didn't really let myself get attached to him, and I just wanted her back with Luke. And now it's changed because you do see Nick really does care about her, and it is his baby that she had. I'm not completely sure if I want him with her, but I do really like his character. His little wife in season 2, that was the most heartbreaking thing to happen in season 2. Well, a lot of heartbreaking stuff happened, but that made me cry when they executed his wife for running off with someone else because of love. You didn't really completely like her, at least for me throughout, but having that moment and seeing someone so young die like that was so sad and so impactful, and I just, the show can feel so hopeless sometimes. I thought the colonies were very intense. I'm curious to see what happens. Both Janine and Emily are back now and they're handmaids again. And Emily's out of Gilead now. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is going to be so much fun. She has the baby. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I do want to see more of the colonies. It'd be interesting to latch on to another character that's maybe there, but maybe we just left the colonies for good. I don't know. I hope they kind of return just because I like exploring different areas, and that was one we got a little bit of, but maybe not the full taste of yet completely. I'm not sure. That's just how I feel. The most impactful moment in that for me was when Marissa Tomei's character came and Emily killed her. That was intense. Oh my gosh. The only character I really feel like I didn't get enough of was Moira, in all honesty. I mean, you saw that she's in Canada. Her and Luke are getting close. I just want to see her character develop more because I felt like she wasn't in this season a lot. So I really hope she's in the next season a whole lot more. The last few episodes of season 2 were just insane. You had so much going on. Just all of season 2. You have the moment where June's baby almost dies, but then she survives. You have the moment where she goes to see Hannah. That was, oh my gosh, I cried on that moment too. Like, how dare you take her away from her own child? That's awful. Just her being abandoned at that place and having to give birth to the baby there. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time like, oh my gosh, what is she gonna do? She needs help. No one's there. She can't get to anyone. But you feel for her because she's trying to escape, but then the baby wants to come and you're like, no baby, you need to stay in there until we get out of this place. Just the whole last episode blew my mind. It was so good. You have June slapping Mr. Waterford. You just have everything happen in that. You have the Marthas help June almost escape Gilead, and then you have June give the baby to Emily, and then June runs back into Gilead in order to save Hannah. And you're like, this is stupid, but it's smart, but it's stupid. You don't know how to feel. You want her to escape so bad, but you understand she needs to get Hannah. Like, she needs to get Hannah. I agree, but I'm still upset she's not out of Gilead yet. I think the way the show is going to end is hopefully her getting out of there. And I hope that the guy that Emily ends up being a handmaid for, I hope he's in it more because he was a really interesting character. He was the sympathizer. He helped because I think they said he invented the colonies, so I think that'd be really cool to get some backstory on that. And then Aunt Lydia got attacked by Emily. That was pretty intense too. We'll see if Aunt Lydia's okay. I forget. Is she okay? It's been a little while. She might be okay, just in the hospital. But still, that was a little bit satisfying because Aunt Lydia, man. She's another frustrating character. She has moments of humanness, but other than that, she's pretty awful. And I hope Rita has more too. She's slowly becoming bigger and bigger, but I really, really do hope that we do see a lot more of her character and some more character development. By the way, that actress is just plain awesome. Amanda Brugel, I got to meet her a little bit and we kind of were talking about books, which was really cool. How she did like her thesis on Handmaid's Tale. So I hope her character gets more development. I'd love to learn the backstory of Rita a little bit more. I am super excited for how this series is going to go. I was a little bit skeptical after season 1 because of course season 1 was based off a book. And before the actual show started, I did go to a Q&A and they did say how they do explore certain aspects of the book that weren't explored in season 1. Like I think the colonies wasn't explored at all in season 1, just mentioned, and it really goes more into detail in the book, and they did that in season 2. But I was skeptical because you have so much good content from the book, but now you have to go off of the content that is already super awesome and amazing and create what happens after. And that can be very hard to do because you still have to live up to the standard that you set. I think I like season 2 better than season 1, in all honesty. Season 1 is not as depressing overall, but I do think that season 2 has a lot more character development and just the story hits you so much harder. That is really all I have to say about the show. Go watch it for yourself, even if you stayed through the spoilery stuff, because like I always say, it's one thing me telling you about it, it's another thing you actually watching it and experiencing it yourself and gaining your own opinion on it. It's always good, no matter if you watch a review or not, to go and try it for yourself and see what you think, because at the end of the day, what one person likes or dislikes isn't necessarily what you like or dislike. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any other book, movie, or TV suggestions, you can leave them in the comments below. I will write them down and mark them and guarantee I will do a review on them for you. Also, if you want updates on videos and acting stuff going on in my life, you can go to this link right here. It's my blog. There's a link to it in the description as well. It gives you updates on just everything that's going on, maybe why a video is not up this week. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day, evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day you're watching this in. Don't forget to be awesome. All right. Goodbye. Whoa!